I will not bore you with music theory today. The only thing I dared to do here is you probably often have some kind of melody playing in your head. The original idea needs to manifest itself in the form of MIDI. You just gotta go for a ride with it. There is a bit of a rule breaking, simple, quick, energetic, atmospheric, bouncy. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What is up, creatives? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to touch base on this thing called Travis Scott music. What is it really? There are many words to describe it, but I simply see it as a blend of trap, psychedelic, and alternative elements, and it's both energetic and atmospheric. So I'm gonna walk you through the beat that I made with that in mind, starting with a simple melody. I will not bore you with music theory today because I simply made this beat with no expectation, meaning that I just had an idea, a melody playing in my head, and so I opened the FL Studio, I played it and recorded the melody, and so I'll let the rest of the beat to unfold itself. Let's check it out. And so I opened one of my favorite piano keys plugin, Addictive Keys, and I chose Electric Grand preset. It's the very first preset that I have on here. And that's what the MIDI of this melody looks like. And what I heard in my head was just this first part of it. That's it. I just felt like this could be a good beat starter. Again, I have no theory behind it. There's no chord that I chose for this. There's no tutorial I was looking up on what Travis Scott starts his beats with, or what kind of chords he uses, or what's the most typical Travis Scott chord. And I would actually encourage you to most of the time approach beat making with no expectations, meaning that you probably often have some kind of melody playing in your head. So try to set up your workspace in such a way that once you have that melody playing, you can come up to your computer, open whatever the simplest plugin you have. I start my beats with some kind of keys. Then once you've laid out the MIDI, you can switch presets and plugins and copy from one to another and see what sounds good. But the original idea that you have needs to manifest itself in the form of MIDI. And then you can play around and get inspired. You just gotta go for a ride with it. This is what the whole thing sounds like. All I did here is just randomize the velocities so that each note hits at a different volume. Now, I opened two more instances of Addictive Keys and layered exactly the same melody with different sounds. This is Electric Grand ARP2 preset. And the third layer is Electric Grand Ambient Run. So since I layered three different presets out of the same plugin, now wanted to create a wide stereo image. These knobs that you see on the left, pan knobs. And so one sound, I panned 30% left, the very first melody I laid out right down the middle. And then the third preset, 30% to the right. That way we have one melody on the left, one melody on the right, and one down the middle. That way it's a wide sound spectrum. Here's what all three of them sound like. Now, I probably forgot to mention, this is all at 164 BPM, and I was aiming for that high energy, fast BPM Travis Scott type track. What I did next is I consolidated the original melody, the three layers that I showed you earlier, into one loop, and then I took this loop and I doubled it. I stretched it over 8 bars. As for effects, I added Patcher and the preset Humanizer, which has volume speed, pitch variation, stereo, and volume variation. Next, I added OTT. Then I added another Patcher preset Retro. Now this one you can go ahead and download from Frank Pohl. The link is going to be up here. He makes 3 presets for Patcher, and these presets are modeled after some paid plugins. Like this one, for example, is modeled after RC20 here for free. Here's what's going on under the hood of this, and it's kind of crazy. I'm not even gonna try and make sense out of all that, but that's what Patcher is. It's just a blank canvas where you can connect all kinds of different plugins and create custom effects with them. That's how this retro plugin was made by Frank Pohl. Go cop it. All right, moving on. Next, I added Valhalla Supermassive, another free plugin, 50% mix. Then I removed some harsh frequencies from this loop, and then another instance of parametric EQ, just removed highs and lows to make sure that I'm only leaving mid and high mid. And now with all of the effects, this is what it sounds like. And so at that point, the main melodic element was done. And I wanted to add some other spooky elements because Travis Scott often uses weird sounds. And I wanted to see, okay, well, let me check what I got. And I found this cymatics lead accent sound in my library. And here's what it sounds like. Haunting sound, and I thought it was really cool. The only thing that I did with it is I clicked on envelope, I removed whatever was on, I left only hold, so that means it would only play the length of the note that you draw, and then it's gonna stop playing at this point. Here's the MIDI that I drew, the low octave A and D and the high octave A and D. Here's what they sound like together with the loop. And the third and the last melodic element is this breakdown melody that I came up with. And it's also the sound from Cymatics library that I had. And here's what it sounds like. Here's what the MIDI of that melody looks like. The same notes used in the original piano melody. You can see the ghost notes. The ghost notes belong to the original melody, and it's the same notes, A, E, F. So they're hitting similar notes, but the melody is different. And here's what it sounds like. All right, moving on to the drums. And I wanted to keep it standard and minimal at the same time. Trap drums. I wanted to make sure that it sounds bouncy. And the only thing I dared to do here is 2 different hi-hats at the same time. And I pan them. So it creates a bit of an interesting stereo separation. As you can see, I went a little bit wild on, pitching triplets and hi-hat rolls. And here's the second one, nothing special here aside from variation in the volume. And so I panned one of them 20% to the left and then the other one 20% to the right. Here's what they sound like together. They don't always play together. I kind of switch between one and the other one or both of them at the same time. Here's my 808 pattern. Now playing all of the drums together. Simple, quick, energetic, atmospheric, bouncy, Travis Scott type beat. There is a bit of a rule breaking with hi-hat stuff. It's nothing revolutionary in terms of musicianship. At least my head was bopping during making this. In the meantime, enjoy the beat. Let me know in the comments what other content would you like to see on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave me a like. Remember that you are appreciated. Go create some art, make some music. Stay blessed. Much love. Peace.